And there we go. Sorry, guys. What is going on, guys? My name is K-Dogs Kennel, and welcome to my WWE Night of Champions 2025 predictions video. I kind of wanted to wait a little bit on this until I kind of knew what was going on. As far as, are they going to hold this event as planned in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, based on what is going on between Iran, Israel, and the United States getting involved? But not going to worry about, not going to discuss any of that stuff. Like I said, I don't discuss current events. I don't discuss politics, anything like that. Just not my thing. But I do want to come up here. Don't mind the sheet behind me. That's kind of what we're using as a curtain right now. Just kind of keep the sun out and all that. Holly's Adventures is in the chat already. If I don't catch anything at first, I promise I'll get back to the chat after we're done with this video. Literally do not have anything written down. I kind of wanted to just kind of freelance this, freeball it, whatever you want to call it. I do know there are 6 matches. I kind of took a glance at it earlier today. So let's dive right in to what is going. You need a free hug. I know my Chucky shirt. I love this. Is I actually found this in the move. No, nonetheless, this was like in the back of my closet, and I'm like, holy crap! I didn't even realize I had this shirt. But you know what? There we go. Free hugs. I'm a hugger. What can I say? Don't mind the cat here. Oakley was laying with me a little bit this afternoon. Now he's actually he's right up there in his cat tower. Here's Oakley. So, but anyway, so yeah, after a lot of speculation, WWE is going to go forward with this PLE as planned. Despite all, again, the tensions going on in the Middle East with Iran and Israel. The U.S. got involved. Right now, it seems to be back and forth between the U.S. and Iran. Only thing I can do, guys, is make a video on what things I know and things I can control, not things I can't control. So hopefully this thing goes off without a hitch and all that good stuff. But not going to discuss these matches in any certain order. I'm kind of going from bottom to top, if you will. We're going to start things off with a match that got announced just the other day. Apparently, the Dominic Mysterio AJ Styles matchup for the Intercontinental Championship was scrapped due to the fact that the champion Dominic Mysterio does have an injury. Seems to be legit, so they did pull that match off of the card to replace it with Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now, personally, I want to see Karrion Kross win this match, but I think because it's going to be in Saudi Arabia, usually when Sami Zayn goes over there, I think they're going to give Sami the rub on this one. And Averis, if I'm saying your name right, hello, welcome in. But yeah, I think that as much as I want to see Karrion win this thing, Sami Zayn, yeah, I think because of his Syrian heritage and whatnot, I think, and I mean, like I said, nothing against that whatsoever, but I think that's what's going to give him the rub on this. Saudi Arabia is all about their countrymen and stuff going over, and so that's why I think, as much as I want to see Karrion Kross, I think Karrion Kross needs the win more. It just seems like Karrion Kross keeps getting into these situations where he starts feuding with somebody, and then it's a blow off at the end, and he doesn't get anything out of it. It's just kind of weird. But I do think Sami Zayn's going to pick up the win in that regard. Next up, Rhea Ripley faces Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. Yo, Big Baby, what's up? Actually, I'm glad Big Baby's here because I'm going to get to something here in just a little bit regarding the ICGMAs that are coming up here in a couple weeks. But yeah, Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley in a street fight. I think Raquel has kind of gotten the best of Rhea Ripley over the last couple weeks. I really haven't watched the show. Obviously, anybody that really knows me knows I've actually been in the process of moving for the last week. So I haven't really caught up on anything lately. I just kind of, when I saw the card, I'm like, I already kind of see where they're going, at least mentally. I can see where they're going. But I think Rhea gets the win here. I think, like I said, Raquel's kind of gotten the better over the last couple weeks. So I think it's due time for Rhea Ripley to get involved, get a big win, a statement win, if you will. So give me Rhea. Now even Holly says Ripley. So yeah, we're gonna go with Rhea Ripley to go over in this street fight. Now we have one title match that is still on is Solo Sikoa against Jacob Patu. God, for a second there I forgot his damn name. a lot of people feel like Jacob is going to win this thing. And you know what? He may via DQ. JC Mateo, the bloodline. Maybe so. But one thing I don't think is going to happen is I don't think Jacob Batu is going to get the win clean. Because if you do that, you're one and doneing the feud. What's the point of Solo challenging? If Solo's chasing the belt and he doesn't win the belt, then what are you doing this for? So with that being said, I'm going to go with call me crazy. I think Solo Sikoa is going to win the U.S. title. Ever since he took over the bloodline a few months ago after Roman Reigns lost the undisputed title to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, Solo has kind of floundered. He kind of took control of the bloodline, and then they haven't done much. I mean, they had the big War Games match at Survivor Series last year, and then throughout this year, Solo has kind of been irrelevant until Money in the Bank. He tries to go for the briefcase. Jacob stops him, tells him he hates him, costs him the match, and things like that. Like I said, if I'm booking this, I'm booking Solo to win the title, and then Jacob throughout the rest of the year, basically chasing after the bloodline, having to go through the likes of JC Mateo, maybe get the Tongaloa, basically running the gauntlet, so to speak, and then maybe just maybe when by the time that you get to, let's say, Survivor Series, maybe even the Royal Rumble, you put the belt back on Jacob. But I think storyline purposes wise, you've got to put the belt on Solo Sikoa, because again, if Jacob Batu wins this match, it's going to be via disqualification, because it's going to keep the feud going. But if Jacob straight up just wins straight up, the story has nowhere to go, because again, usually when you challenge for a championship and you just, you lose clean, where does it go? You know what I mean? So, like I said, maybe not kind of thing. But I'm going to take Solo Sikoa to win the U.S. title from Jacob Batu. So, like I said, call me crazy. What is that? Number 3. So now we have, obviously the two tournament finals, which I guess I'll do this and I'll save the title match for the end. The men's King of the Ring tournament final, Cody Rhodes taking on Randy Orton. Randy Orton making his second consecutive finals appearance in the King of the Ring. He lost to Gunther last year. Now he's going to be facing Cody Rhodes this Saturday, actually tomorrow, matter of fact. So as much as I want to see Randy Orton win, because I don't really want to see him lose 2 finals in a row, I think you have to go with Cody Rhodes, because the winner of this match obviously goes on to SummerSlam, and with SummerSlam being the first ever 2-night SummerSlam event this year, you want a marquee matchup. And I'm not saying that Randy Orton against John Cena wouldn't be a marquee matchup. I think that you want to make it as big as possible, and I think that the writing is on the wall for this to be John Cena versus Cody Rhodes 2, the rematch from WrestleMania 41. Yo, Maria, hello. Welcome in. I've been seeing a lot of new names as I've been doing these videos. Like I said, 2 more days, guys. 2 more days after today. Got to get through the weekend, and I will have cable internet Monday afternoon. So yeah, you can bet your bottom dollar on Monday night we will be we'll be back to gaming. Trust me. I love doing these kinds of videos. Don't get me wrong. And like I said, it's but trust me, I haven't even turned on my PlayStation since I hooked it up, because it's like the more I play it, I want to stream it. I can't stream anything right now, so I got to go this route. But Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton. My heart, I want Randy Orton to win, because I've always been a Randy Orton fan. But I think that they're going to go with Cody Rhodes, because, again, SummerSlam being the first ever 2-night event, I think, Rhodes and Cena are going to main event SummerSlam. Cena I'll talk about here in a minute once we get to that matchup. But like I said, I just feel that the match between Cena and Orton from Backlash just sucked. The whole thing sucked. The fact that, Cena retained the way he did, I wasn't a fan of it. I didn't even. That's the only match on Backlash I saw was the main event, and Cena winning essentially with a low blow again. I mean, it's how he won the title in the first place, but Cena's heel turn has been abysmal, and I hate to say that, but like I said, we'll get to that when we get to the main event. But I do have Cody Rhodes going over, possibly dethroning John Cena at SummerSlam to win the title. Again, it remains to be seen. Yeah, and I'll talk about that because at first I loved it, but like I said, I digress. We'll talk about that here in a minute. The Queen of the Ring final. This thing should be awesome. Asuka taking on Jade Cargill. The winner will face their brand's women's champion at SummerSlam. I think we win either way with this outcome, whether Asuka wins, whether Jade Cargill wins. So here's my thought process for that. So Naomi, who has the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, obviously turned on Jade Cargill months ago. She was revealed as the woman who essentially took her out, and but I like which I liked. I kind of thought it was gonna turn. There's two different ways I can see this going. I'm taking Jade Cargill, and here's why. I think it's going to be Jade Cargill against Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam. Cargill's going to go over, and then Naomi is going to cash in on Cargill and win the title. Now, whether it's just a straight-up cash-in, Cargill wins a hard-hitting matchup at SummerSlam, wins the title, celebrates, boom, cash-in, or what if Bianca turns heel? What if Bianca turns heel and reveals that she's been in it with Naomi the whole time? Why not? I mean, it's crazy, but either way, I think Cargill wins the match, and I think she beats Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam, and whether it's via Bianca heel turn or it's just straight up a cash-in, I think Naomi walks out of SummerSlam as the women's champion, the women's world champion, or maybe it's the WWE. I think SmackDown has the WWE women's title, and then Raw has the women's world title. I don't know. It's a pain in the ass to keep up with. It really is. And like I said, I used to be a diehard wrestling fan. I still am. That's why I still make these kinds of videos. The problem with Money in the Bank, I wanted to do a Money in the Bank predictions video, but Money in the Bank came up so quick, I didn't even realize it was. I was actually at work when I saw what was going on. I'm like, oh well, crap! I didn't even think about that. But yeah. See Jade winning this one, but I like to say, yeah. So as I said, we win either way because I think it's the right final. I think both women deserve it, but like I said, for what's going on storyline wise, I think it just makes more sense for Jade Cargill to go over, and then like I said, I see her going into SummerSlam, beating Tiffany Stratton. Stratton's had the belt for since like the beginning of the year, so I mean I don't want to say it's due time for Tiffany to drop the belt, but it is. And what better way to drop it than the second biggest event of the year? But like I said, that's my opinion on that. Which brings us, ladies and gentlemen, to our main event. WWE Undisputed Championship on the line. The champion John Cena against CM Punk. Boy, do I want to see CM Punk win the belt. I marked out when CM Punk came back a couple years ago at the Survivor Series, and you just knew with it being in Chicago, something big was going to happen on that show. And I love how they did the camera panning back, the watermark in the corner, like they were about to go off the air. Cult of Personality hits, the crowd erupts, and you're off to the races. John Cena. I did a video back in February. I do not like non-defending champions. I hate non-defending champions. It's like when they make a 6-man or a tag team match main event. Why? Why isn't the belt on the line? Belt should be defended every pay-per-view. But John Cena turned heel at the Elimination Chamber. Like I said, I did a complete reaction video of that, which was that was pretty raw. Just because, like I said, I think it was the day after because I had to work early the next day. Sells his soul to The Rock. Turns heel. which I loved. I loved that after 20 plus years, they executed a heel turn. John Cena wanted to do this 10 or 15 years ago, but Vince McMahon wasn't going to have it, because he was the WWE's golden boy. Triple H took a chance, and I loved it. Then what? The Rock, you would have thought The Rock would have appeared at WrestleMania 41 and helped John Cena win the title from Cody in the main event of WrestleMania 41. He was nowhere to be found. He's been nowhere to be found. So you have to ask yourself, what the hell was the point? What is the point of turning heel, aligning yourself with a guy he feuded with for 2 years? Keep in mind, WrestleMania, the seeds were planted at WrestleMania 27 that lasted actually essentially 3 years, because they started their feud at WrestleMania 27. They had their match at WrestleMania 28 once in a lifetime, which turned into twice in a lifetime at WrestleMania 29 for the title that Cena would win. But what has The Rock done? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I want CM Punk to win the title here, but in reality, it's not going to happen. Cena's going to hold the belt until bare minimum SummerSlam. I don't know how many dates are on Cena's little farewell tour or whatever it is, but he will not be a heel all the way through. I think the WWE botched this heel turn. It started fantastic, but The Rock not being involved has made this heel turn not make a lot of sense. I love the scathing promo that John Cena did the night after he won the belt at WrestleMania 41, talking about the nuclear heat promo he got, disrespecting the fans and all that stuff, and just saying his piece. I loved every bit of that. And I'm like, okay, obviously The Rock's not going to come back for a Backlash or a Money in the Bank or I'll say a lower level, PLE. But I expected The Rock at WrestleMania 41. I expect The Rock at SummerSlam. Not that it's going to happen. But it's really all about how are you going to turn John Cena back into a face. Like I said, I love CM Punk. I want him to win this thing. But at the end of the day, it's just not going to happen. Cena's going to retain, probably by some form of chicanery, or he's going to cheat. He's going to low blow him, do something stupid to retain the title, and then it's going to be Cena Rhodes at SummerSlam again. And I think that's where Cody wins the belt back, is at SummerSlam. I think, and again, you can play this a couple different ways. You can have Cody win the match clean, win the title back clean, or you could have The Rock get involved. The Rock may inadvertently cost John Cena the title, try to help him, but when a heel tries to help a heel and it backfires, that's cinema. I gotta stand up for a quick second, but yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Like I said, I can see. I do. I do feel that. It's going to be Cody and Cena at SummerSlam, and then I honestly see Cody winning the title back at SummerSlam. So there we go. So there is your predictions video, guys and gals. Like I said, I do want to kind of show this a little bit. Got more stuff here in the man cave. Got some more stuff hung up. I just brought the lamps in today. I had family over this past weekend. They had hit some water sticks outside with some chairs and whatnot out on my deck. And like I said, then you get into this stuff here. That silver piece came from our dryer. We got our washer and dryer installed over the weekend. So, like I said, the game room is a little trashed right now, but like I said, it's all going to come together. The wife, I think, they're going to bring my computer and whatnot over this weekend so we can get that all set up. That way, come Monday afternoon, when I get cable and internet, like I said, I'm going to be kind of, bouncing back and forth. I got to have a friend of mine who knows about computers come over. I got to change up my graphics on the computer because it's all about. It's loaded with a prior gaming community I was affiliated with and I'm not affiliated with anymore, and he knows more about that than I do. So. But yeah, there is that. Now, another thing I kind of want to talk about, I was going to put this kind of in a separate video, but I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to include it in this video. Coming up here in the next couple weeks, is the 69th annual ICGMA Awards, which anyone who knows me knows that my wife and I work behind the scenes at that. It's a country gospel award show and convention that houses a lot of artists performing and whatnot. And much like I've done every year since my wife and I got together, I will be at the event. It's the event that we won our award at last year. And so, yeah, and I'm going to be doing a lot of backstage. I'm going to be filming interviews with some of the artists and whatnot. And I'm going to be pretty much making a playlist, just doing a lot of, talking to the artists and whatnot. And doing things like that, which I'm really excited for. I do believe even Holly is still coming up for that, so that's going to be super cool. So you guys will get a lot of content from her and I. Probably on the first day, not so much the second and third day, because that's the second and third day is the awards, and then the banquet closes the whole festivities. So you'll get videos with me and Holly together, which is going to be really, really cool. I know. And like I said, with this move, I haven't been able to stream with anybody. And I know even Holly and I kind of talked about, we haven't streamed together for quite a while. But like I said, I've also had a lot going on the last couple months and whatnot. So once I get everything settled and all that good stuff, I will be... I'm sorry. I'm turning my fan off here. Hang on. There we go. Because right now, thank God for DVDs, because I would be lost without DVDs, because like I said, I got everything hooked up, but no cable, no internet. So yeah, that's always fun. So, but that is going to wrap this video up, guys. Actually, no, it's not. Big baby, if you are still here, I want to make something known to you. So if you are here, let me know, because there's something that I want to do. And then, sorry, I'm literally just kind of going from room to room, because I'm going to probably throw a movie on, and then I got to work. You're here, bro. Okay, so one thing I want to do for you, our pastor is the president of the ICGMAs, and one thing that I would like to do, he knows about what you've been dealing with. We've been talking to him, since we found out about what you're battling and all that stuff. And what we had talked about doing is, if we want to do, myself, and especially with and Holly's going to be there as well. What I asked him about doing is, even if whether we call you or even video call you, I want all of us just to pray with you as you continue the journey that you're on. And our pastor was like, you know what, that's a done deal. But like I said, with it being, like I said, Holly and I, like I said, that's going to be the first time we'll ever meet. I know she's coming up to see you en route. But I definitely want to do that, with you and for you. Because like I said, I never discuss it on the air or whatever, but it's always important that like I said, we're with you every step of the way, and you're our church like I said, our church knows about what you're dealing with and whatnot, and you know what, they're all behind you 100%. So I do want to do that the first day that we're down there, because Thursday is the first day of the event, and there's not a whole lot that goes on. It's usually just the artists, showing up, and like I said, that's where like the interviews and stuff are going to come in to play. But I definitely want to do that. May not be with you in person, but it's just something that we want to do for you and with you, just to know, just so you know that you got a lot. There's a lot of people you don't even know that are behind you throughout this whole thing. So, but that's the game plan for. As I said, it'll probably be the first day, which would be Thursday. Yeah, first day of the convention's on Thursday. So yeah. So, but that's what we want to do for you. So, like I said, I just think it's in my heart of hearts, I feel it's the right thing to do, and it's just something I want to do. So, because frankly, to me, you're family. So, and that is that's all that matters. Family is everything, and the best part of my gaming family is I can choose who my family is in that regard. So, but hey, ain't nothing, ain't nothing. You get nothing to worry about on that. Like I said, that is like I said, it's going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, there's going to be numerous videos in a playlist. Like I said, probably a couple minute interviews with like some of the artists and whatnot. I mean, like I said, nothing extravagant per se, but yeah, I do plan on recording quite a bit of coverage and putting it on the channel. Which I talked to my pastor about that. He said the fact that you're willing to do that, he goes, that means a lot. He's like, you're promoting the artist, you're promoting the event, kind of thing. So, but I'm starting to ramble. So, which I tend to do. Like I said, I've missed y'all. I haven't, like I said. I've had a couple messages about, am I okay? Have I quit streaming? Absolutely not. Like I said, it's just a matter of with the move. I called the day we moved in, and my cable/internet provider said the earliest day they had was June 30th. I'm like, oh my god! I have 10 days where I can't stream on my gaming platforms. And then somebody made the comment about, oh well, you've got. You can just record videos on your phone. I'm like, you know what? That's actually a really cool way to at least keep in contact with everybody. So, but yeah. So as I'm rambling, I'm going to get off of here. So I want to thank you guys so very much for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. I got to work early tomorrow, and then I know the wife is off tomorrow, and I know we're getting some stuff done at the old house tomorrow just to finish up before we sell it. So I may not have a video up for you guys tomorrow. If I do not have a video up for you guys tomorrow, I will have something for you up on Sunday afternoon. So that being said, take care. I love you guys very much. I truly, truly do. Bear with me. A couple more days. We got to get through the weekend, and I will be back with more Final Fantasy X live streaming, as well as Liza P. How to Platinum. We got to finish that game up as well. So a couple more days, guys, and I will be back better than I've ever been. So don't miss it, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.